The regular meeting of Orland City Council of October 16th, 2012 to order. We have the Girl Scouts leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Dominic, we have Cheyenne, and what is it?
Maddie.
Maddie. Okay. And from Troop 1181 and 1639 at Daisy. So if we all please stand.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. It's always a joy to have you here. We appreciate it. I see that we have a camera in our midst. I'm going to kind of go, we're going to go to number 3 in a minute. But we'd like to know if some of the council members are unaware of it and exactly what's going on and where we're at in this process.
Hi.
Hello.
My name's John Kinane, and what we are is a group of concerned citizens that want to be more actively involved in our city government. And not everybody can come down here, and obviously it's a small room. So the concept is we're going to be videoing the council meetings, maybe some of the commission meetings, planning meetings, contractor board meetings, and making it available online so that in addition to the minutes that you find in the newspaper or on the website, you can actually get a look at the goings on in the proceedings. So that's really what this is all about. I just wanted to introduce myself. The website is going to be friendsofworland.org, and that's where everything's going to be posted. We're not looking for any kind of special response or anything. We're just trying to do this as a tool to educate not only ourselves but others in the community, keep them up to date on the events and the goings on in the councils and commissions. And again, I'm John Kinane, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, well, thanks. I think it's a great idea. You're not going to edit it. You're just going to put it on as is.
It's a straight shoot. That's
I
correct.
like that. I think, is that something that...
It's a public meeting, as long as it's used for appropriate and legal purposes and not edited, it's okay.
Correct.
So we've been trying to work on this with RT for quite a while, and I think it's good that the citizens of this community are that interested to get involved in city government. It's a great idea. We appreciate it. So we got to keep our hair cut. Oh yeah, you can have yours. I think it's great. We have an opening bid tonight for 2 police cars, and I'll turn the time over to Keith Richards, our city attorney.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This evening we're opening bids for 2 police cars. And we have 5 bids, one from Sheridan Motor out of Sheridan, one from Griner out of Orland, one from Fremont Motor out of Lander, one from Fremont Motor from Powell, and one from Wolf out of Pinedale. And the first bid this evening is from Sheridan Motors from Sheridan, Wyoming. And there is a bid bond in the apparent amount of 5%. There's a lot of scribbling. Obviously, Gabe will have to review these. This one has a lot of writing outside of the specs, and in one area they state $23,522 times 2 units for $47,044. And then they've got that seems to be the bid. So $47,044 for 2 units. And
What kind of units are they?
what kind?
It should be the Dodge Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know. The 2013 Charger Police RWD. So, you'll need to look at these, Gabe. That bid appears to be in order. Are there any questions? Second bid is from Griner, actually out of Casper, Wyoming. Excuse me, Griner out of Casper, Wyoming. And they submit no bid. And this bid is not in order. Are there any questions? And there's no reason why. Third bid is from Fremont Motor Company out of Lander, Wyoming. And we've got 2 bids. One is for well, it looks like a 2013 Dodge Charger with a 6.7 Hemi and a few other items for $29,318. That's $29,318. And then we have another bid from a 2013 Dodge Charger 3.6 V6. Price $28,226. $28,226. And they say each, which leads me to believe that you could get both cars on each bid. So, and there's a bid bond in the apparent amount of 5%. This bid appears to be in order. Are there any questions? The next bid is from Fremont Motor out of Powell, Wyoming. Price per unit, $23,518.92. Total bid of $47,038.84. And this is for a 3.5-liter V6 2013 Ford Interceptor. And there's a parent bid bond in the amount of $23,351.94. And this bid appears to be in order. Are there any questions?
Ken?
Yes.
What vehicle was that bid on again?
This is a 2013 Ford Interceptor.
Okay. That's not what was requested in that bid spec.
Okay, so it may not be in order as far as specs are concerned.
Correct.
Yeah, I
will
would.
review it.
Okay. The final bid is from Wolf Auto Group out of Pinedale, Wyoming. And there's a bid bond in the apparent amount of 5%. Cost per police charger, $26,222 for 2 units, total $52,444. And this is for a Dodge Charger. And this bid appears to be in order. Are there any questions about this bid? I recommend that I deliver these to Gabe and then he review them and us know at the next council meeting your thoughts. I think there's enough specs involved in issues that you need to make sure that they're in order, so I don't think we need a motion or anything. Let's do that. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on October 2nd, 2012. If there are no corrections or additions to these minutes, we have a motion. So moved. Have a second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. It's time for the approval of the payroll for the period ending September 30th, 2012. Could I have a motion to approve the payroll? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Well, it is time for business of the visitors, and we have Wanda here, Wanda Johnson. We always appreciate her coming to our meetings, and she's been doing this since how long, Wanda? Many, many, many years.
World War II,
World War II.
off and on Second Street, off and on.
Well, it's wonderful to have people like you in our community that participate in this. We have a proclamation. It is Poppy Week from,
Month.
or a month, I'm sorry, from 10/16 to 11/11.
November.
So we will get that proclamation in order.
No, these are American Legion officers. And without our veterans, we might be under another flag. And that's what I tell them.
No, that's very, very true.
And that's, well, how are you doing this? Well, because one veteran was in the Navy.
Through projects like this, our veterans,
Huh?
I'll run you down.
I'll make it
Yeah.
long.
yeah, I'll run you down too.
Yeah, well, I'm going, well, come to
I
breakfast.
know your guys' interest.
Come to breakfast.
But through programs like this, our wounded veterans, all the people that have put their lives on the line for us each and every day are being better helped in these situations. I think this is a wonderful thing that one has put that much time into.
Yeah, I do this 2 times a year
Yeah.
for the VFW and the American Legion
I got a
officer.
defective one on.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I close it up.
Yeah, any water to drink, be careful, it's in there. Thanks, Wanda. I'll catch you at the office.
Yeah, because I'll be down there. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, Wanda, we thank you very much. I think she needs a round of applause. Well, we have a lot of young gentlemen here this evening. Do you have business for the council? Or are you here just to observe? Well, good. We appreciate you folks coming because eventually you may be sitting in these chairs if you wish to be part of the city government, and it's a great thing. We appreciate all of you. Any other business of visitors? We have several council members that are running for office I see in the back, and we appreciate you guys being here this evening. And Terry Sutherland, how are you? I haven't talked to you for a long time.
I'm fine, glad to be here.
Good. Okay, we'll move on to business of the mayor. I want to thank Dave Duffy very much for standing in for me at the last council meeting. I was unable to come I made a disaster of my leg, so I'm working on healing, but I do really appreciate you doing that. And I do understand, I've talked to Ron Vanderpool, I've talked to Sonny a little bit tonight about the demonstration at the fire department on the sprinkler systems. I don't know how many of you folks were there, but it was certainly a very good presentation from what I understand. Bob, you were there too, weren't you?
Yeah, they had pretty good.
Yeah, I tried to hobble down from what I heard about it, and I think it's a great thing that we educate the people in our community about the things that we want to make our community safer. It's not that we're trying to put more rules and regulations, and we just want to make sure that down the road you don't regret something, and we don't regret something that we could.
Ron did film that, if you want to see it.
Yes, he did, and I don't have it, I haven't looked at it yet, but he was gonna present it tonight, and then he couldn't get it up, so. And that's all the business I have. So is there any old business before the council? No old business? Yes.
We did open bids at the last meeting for a compact excavator and a compact wheel loader. At this time, I'd like to, on the compact excavator, I'd like to ask the council to award that bid to Bobcat of the Bighorn Basin for a E50 Bobcat excavator. Was low bid, it does meet all the specifications.
Ask for a motion?
Moved.
Second, moved by? Discussion?
Question, what are we gonna do with our old one?
The John Deere. This one's actually quite a bit smaller than the John Deere. This one's gonna spend probably most of its life at the cemetery and then minor work around town.
So we're gonna keep the other,
Kind of a fun there, huh?
so we're gonna keep the other two excavators.
Yeah, the big one we use all the time, the
Yeah.
little one we still use in tighter alleys, and if we have two crews running on one project, we use them both.
This one, Bob, basically will fit between the stones,
Yeah,
where it was really tough to get a backhoe in there.
I was just thinking the other little ones though. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second item, we did open bids for a compact all-wheel steer loader. We had two bids on that. The one that met the specs 100% was the Bobcat A770. This is more than just a skid steer loader, it's actually an all-wheel steer loader. It saves on tires, it doesn't tear up asphalt, it doesn't tear up grass. You can turn it or use it as a skid steer in tighter places. The initial machine was more money than the other one. However, in adding up all the attachments along with the machine, it's $3,300 less. So I would ask council to award the bid to Bobcat of the Bighorn Basin for the A770 all-wheel steer loader.
So we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Question? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, business of the department heads. We'll start with Kent Richards.
I have no business this evening, thank you.
Thank
Took up last meeting, take a break.
You're all right. Clerk treasurer, Clerk treasurer Tracy Glanz.
You have two copies of two loan applications for curb gutter sidewalk replacement. First one is from Raymond and Joan Kent at 400 Milllark Lane at a cost of $720. If you don't have any questions, I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the other application is from Richard Mankus at 401 Meadowlark Lane. You'll note that his bill attached to that loan application is a lot larger than what he's requesting. He's only requesting $1,364. If you don't have any questions, I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Well, I want to thank all the people that are going for this curb and gutter replacement, because we're getting a lot of people involved. I think this is the most I've ever seen in the last 4 years anyway, that we've been able to get people involved, and it's all through education and advertising. Yes, ma'am?
How much money do we have available to this?
Well, we get payments every month, so we're between 200 and 300.
Okay, so we're doing okay with,
Acting Chief Gabe Elliott, our police chief, sir.
I have no business.
I know this isn't going to happen. Superintendent of Public Works and Airport Manager.
I have just a couple of items. First, I have an employee that is on extended sick leave because of a medical issue in his family. He has about 2.5 weeks of time left, but he does expect to be back for 3 to 4 weeks. And since we have a council meeting 3 weeks from now, he could be out of time. So I'd like to ask the council to allow me to go out to request donations of sick time for him to cover his time off.
Second. Have a second? I've got a second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? City Engineer Mike Donnell.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I figured you were
You know
done.
better.
You usually don't talk very much.
The next item is, I emailed the council today a memorandum or a MOU from YDOT to do an economic benefit study. I just received that this morning. We'd had some discussion about it when we had our airport operators conference up in Cody a couple of weeks ago. But I did not know anything about this memorandum agreement until my phone call with YDOT this morning, and then they turned around and emailed it to me. I know it's a really quick turnaround, and if you want the time to peruse it and read through it, I understand that completely. The work for the economic benefit study will start next week. It's basically, we're going to set out flyers and cards around the airport so passengers can fill them out. They also have the little code on them where you can use a smartphone to pull it up online. This is going to be off and on for about a year project. YDOT has done them before. Typically it's just been a YDOT project doing it in-house in the aeronautics department. This time YDOT has hired an engineering firm to actually run the study. So all the airports in the state are throughout this time period going to be just feeding them data from our passengers. They're also going to be contacting our fixed base operators for transient aircraft that comes in. Airport operations, myself, I'll be filling out several surveys over the next 9 to 12 months on this. There's, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Well, it'll eventually give us an idea of the impact, the economic impact that an airport contributes to the community.
Yeah, like I said, YDOT has done these before. The first one I was privy to many years ago had the airport donating or putting about $49 million a year into the economy for Washakie County. And this one's going to be a lot more in-depth, so hopefully we have a lot better numbers than that. He said the only cost to the city is probably some pencils for the passengers to use to fill out the forms if they don't choose to do it online, and some time. But like I said, I present this MOU really quick notice. I know the council likes time to review stuff, and they're more than welcome to take that time before we sign it. Just be aware that we'll probably start this next Monday, the survey itself.
I think it would be great if we could look it over and have a few days to look it over and get it at the next council meeting. That's already been done.
Is everybody allowed to start it without us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they can start without us, then we might as well.
Might as well sign it, I guess.
We might as well sign it, because it's not going to cost us.
It is a
anything.
survey.
It's just a survey.
Okay.
I make a motion that we give Gary all the authority it takes in the mayor. Sign what it takes to do it.
Second discussion, or push anything through on anybody or discussion?
Well, it does say in the memorandum, I did look through it this afternoon, it does say that if you don't sign it, it has no effect, but they're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah,
So,
it's a formality.
it's a formality.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
For council information, I talked to a gentleman with DEQ today, and then the contractor that's working with DEQ, and they're going to be coming out to the airport sometime this week to start looking at areas to do test wells for groundwater contamination from old storage tanks. So if you happen to see some activity out there, that's what it is. We're aware of it. I've talked to, excuse me, FAA today to make sure we're going to follow all the parameters that they may have if any of the forms or paperwork for FAA are gonna need to be filled out for this, or we can just do it in-house. So I'll stay on top of that. We did get consensus funding, so Mike and I have kind of started putting together what we need to start on 2 big water projects, at least get the plans and specs together so we can go out to bid. I would expect a bid opening in the spring, probably early spring, for these 2 projects. One is to replace water line underneath the river between the 2 bridges. The other one is to replace a line on the east side of town that runs from 19th Street behind all those houses out to the trailer court. The only other item I have is with this compact excavator, the bids came in significantly lower than what I was quoted back during budget season. I would like to ask the council to allow me to buy a equipment trailer. The prices I got for a trailer are around $6,600 to haul this. We do have a big equipment trailer, but it's way overkill for this excavator. With a smaller trailer, we could use the 1-ton pickups that we had to pull it around instead of having to load it onto a big trailer and a dump truck.
What are you using the bigger one for then?
Hauling excavator or a roller,
So you need.
loaders.
It's a ratio that came in the working.
The trailer,
Yeah.
$6,600 was the quote I got.
It's a tandem.
Yes, tandem axle, tilt bed trailer.
I thought we were leaving it at the cemetery.
It's not gonna be at the cemetery all the time. For the most part, it's gonna stay up there, but if we need it in town, we wanna use it in town.
Seems like a lot of money to spend the way the economy is to use it little short times, in my opinion.
Driving time on the roads and stuff like that.
Oh, no, you don't wanna,
drive that.
you don't wanna road these, it'd
That's
take
what I
you,
mean, you gotta.
take you
haul
all
it
day to get
somewhere.
from the cemetery to town.
You gotta haul it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for, if you're only gonna use it for short times, we already have trailers on stock.
Do we have one of them?
We have our big trailer,
That's it?
yeah.
I don't know, was everything?
Make a motion, we buy the trailer.
Second.
Discussion?
Do you have room in your budget, Gary?
Yes.
I think Bob's got a good point, but go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna reiterate what Bob asked. If we have a definite need, is there a,
It would be used for more than just this excavator. You know, we do have other smaller equipment that we move around.
how are you moving it now?
Big trailer or roading it.
Is there places that you can't get into with a big trailer that's really smaller?
There's places where you have to park the big trailer ways away, or just unload out in the middle of the street. And the big trailer, I really don't think we can get around in the cemetery, especially behind a dump truck.
I think it's a. But any more discussion? We got a motion in a second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried.
Thank you, that's all it is. Business I have.
You done?
I'm done.
Long-winded. City Engineer Mike Donnell.
Yes, thank you. Just a couple quick things. Bighorn Regional meets tomorrow night. They're still working on finalizing the pipeline alignment for the new well east of Grable. It's still pretty preliminary at this point. They're working on easements and landowners and so forth, but we will be tying in that well here eventually as the next and final project that I know of for the regional system. The pipeline to the south is all done. Got a call from Miles Edwards with Wyoming Rural Water today, and they're just starting to gear up for the vulnerability assessment for our water system. That's something we talked about a month ago or so. The only other thing is we have a Safe Routes to School meeting Monday, 10 o'clock at the Law Enforcement Center. Oh yeah, you may or may not have heard that the new county planner right here is my employee, David Anderson. So he won't be with us. Thought you should hear it here. That's all, thank you.
Thank you. I have a question for you, Mike. Is your, the FEMA, have we heard back from FEMA at all?
Not yet, not yet.
When
It
do we
hasn't been very long.
Yeah, when do we expect that? Is it gonna be 3 or 4 weeks.
If we don't hear in, say, 2 to 3 weeks from the time we sent it in, and we did get, it was sent confirmation, so we know what day they got it. And I don't remember what day that was, but we do have that. But if we don't hear back from them within, say, 3 weeks of when we sent it, we'll find out where they're at with it. It's
Okay.
gonna take them a while to go through 2 solid pages of questions and a whole lot more answers.
Well, did
So
you
it's gonna
send,
take a while.
did you, let our US senators and
Yeah.
representatives know that
Yeah.
we're on the road? Good, that's great.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Okay, and that's all you have?
Yes.
Well, you guys are not very long-winded. Maybe it has to do with something with the debates. Utilities, business of the commissions, the utility commission, Councilmember Liz Fernandez.
We met in City Hall on October 9th at 5:30. The only thing that I would like to bring to council's attention is that City Clerk Treasurer Clance presented the idea of a policy requiring the meter pits for all new construction. Okay, let me start over. Presented the idea of a policy requiring meter pits for all new construction in the city. And that would allow the city employees easier access to the meters to shut off the water for those not paying the bill. So that's the only thing I'd like to bring to council's attention. They'll be working on that policy as time goes by.
I think it's a really neat thing because we have access to everything.
Mr. Mayor, we did this several years ago. A lot of years ago. We had meter pits along the sidewalk and in the front yards of almost every house in this town. And it failed miserably.
They're different now, though.
They froze, no matter what they did, they froze, something that couldn't be controlled. I'm not against them, I'm just saying, I know what happened to them. And I know still, there's one or two, it's on Culbertson, I
The
think.
big round ones, this big around.
No, they were just about a 3x3, a 4x4, something like that, square. And it was just a pit, a concrete pit, that's all it were. And they had a devil of a time with them, at least in those days. But again, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I can tell you at that point in time, they had to do away with them because it just didn't work.
Yes, Jerry.
If I may, Sonny, there's still several of those pits around town. There's a lot of them that were made out of wood that have caved in over the years. These new meter pits are a fiberglass material. They're a round pit. They actually have coils in them that the meter hooks to, and then you set the meter down at the bottom of the pit. It has an insulation layer over the top of it. If you need to work on the meter, you pull the insulation layer out, you pull the meter up, and it's right there where you can work on it, put a new meter in, and put it back down at the bottom. The shutoffs are down inside there. Everything is right there. We don't have the problem with trying to find curb stops. You know, right now it's a nightmare finding curb stops if people pile wood on top of them or pour concrete over them. This will just make access a lot easier.
Is this gonna be on the city or the homeowner?
Under new construction, it will be under the homeowner. What we're looking at in the policy is if we're doing a water line project, we will replace them during the installation of the new water line. Typically, we'll put new water or new service lines in from the new main over to the curb stop anyway. So what we would do is just add the expense of a meter pit onto our project, and the city would do that under our project.
What happened to the new meters that we're having, that most of us have in our homes today?
Those can be taken out and put in the meter pit.
That where they can be read as you go by?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
those can be taken and moved back into the meter
Isn't
pit.
that a heck of a lot cheaper in the long run than a meter pit and all that kind of stuff?
Well, the problem comes in is access.
Still need to get.
You know, you still need to get to the meter. This will just make things a lot cleaner.
It's our meter. And it's in a private home, and it's tough sometimes when people haven't paid the bill for a long period of time, you wanna yank the meter, you can't get it out.
But we're still gonna have the curb stop.
Yeah, there'll still be a curb stop there.
Yes.
Actually, the curb stop will be, you can do it either way. You can have a separate curb stop outside the meter pit, or inside the new pits, they actually have valves by the meter.
Can we have a little time to think about this?
Yeah, we're just,
Preliminary stages of
yeah, we're just now thinking about the policy, so.
Yeah. Cause I'd like to know price, cause you got the cost of the pit, you got the price of labor, the guys install it, you got our equipment, you got reclaim, you're running a lot of money for each one of the pits.
Yeah, well, it's good, you'll have examples.
The pits, I mean, they're using the regional.
Yeah.
These are the same
Same
pits.
thing.
Same
but all
pits,
the
I mean, they're
regional-
working great for them.
All the regional and rural water systems have been using these for 15
They've
years
really
probably.
changed.
10 or 15 years, yeah. Because they're finally now prefab insulated and a really nice unit. But it's not cheap, you're right. That's our system.
Over there, good with it.
And the only thing that, there's nothing above ground, it's just like a lid. They have locks on them. You can get locking type lids.
Which the city would have key for?
Yes.
Oh, just.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Jim?
You done, Lisa? I just got one question for you.
For me?
Well, you're the head of the commission.
Yes, sir.
23rd Street, what happened on our chip seal?
That's.
The last I heard, they were gonna meet with a contractor, and I haven't heard back from them, so we still need to send them something. But what it looked like to us was they got dirt in the chips because they had a real problem with the chips adhering to the oil. And it sounded like from the district engineer that they may have to redo it again next year, last I heard. But then I haven't heard from him again, so I don't know where he stands with it. It was pretty poor.
When the curb and gutters aren't really up to our standards either. You don't look at them, they feel like a piece of spaghetti. That's up to White on apparently. We don't have any choice, so it's up to White on that.
But the chip seal on 23rd Street, that's our responsibility. I mean, you can hardly ride your bicycle down it.
It's pretty loosey-goosey.
Yeah, it is a poor chip seal.
They did say that they were going to do it next year.
Or do they just chip over that, out of curiosity? Can't get
I-
those off.
They're probably.
By next year, there's not gonna be that many chips left.
It'll be all
I agree.
They're coming up pretty fast.
We swept it a week ago for them so they could paint it, and by today when they painted it, didn't look like it had been swept.
Just drive your pickup down the street and most of the chips will fall into home.
Well, the point being too, at least part of a good point as far as the contractor that did it, we certainly don't want to do it again. If it's gonna be bad, you know. I mean,
So-
look at it that way too.
But it's a white dot contract, not a
Yeah,
city.
why not? Even though it's 23rd Street down by Big.
Mhm.
So now that it's striped and everything, are they gonna go ahead and open it up? 'Cause I have a lot of people
As
asking
far as we
me to
know,
open
that's
it
the
yet.
plan, yeah. We're gonna be contacting them, possibly even sending a letter to them, because we have some concerns about the project as a whole.
Okay, so we're not waiting
I wasn't
for
gonna
them
get
to
into that
rechip it
tonight.
again before we can open up that street.
It's too late.
No,
to get
it's
it
too
to
late to
seal.
chip it this year.
The engineer I talked to the engineer myself, and at the time, he had not talked to the stripers. He said, I don't know what they've got in mind, but it was striped today. And it is striped and ready to go, and he said as soon as it was striped, and as far as he was concerned, he felt he could open the street up. That's what he told us, told me personally. And that would be the engineer for Berkeley, the resident engineer.
Anything else from the
No, thanks.
Okay, Building and Grounds Commission, Kathy Newman.
Okay, Buildings and Grounds met October 9th at 4:30. Let's see, the golf course contract agreement is still currently being looked at. There were 4 cemetery permits this month. Gary reported that the cemetery building has been delivered on site, and contractor will start an addition within a couple of weeks. The water line for the sprinkler system that runs underneath the building will be rerouted after the building is completed. Mark has done the watering at is done with the watering at Orland Community Center Complex, and will start the sprinkler blowouts on the 18th and the 19th in the downtown area, and the parks on the 22nd. And fertilizing for the fall has begun. And Tracy and Gary will be meeting with Little Sergeant Foundation to request funds for projects, including converting the lights in Pioneer Square Park from gas to electric, replacing the Pioneer Square Christmas lights to LED, and replacing some of the picnic tables at New Sergeant Park. Junior Bauer has paint picked out for the City of Orland entrance signs. And discussion continued about signs, possibly moving in the future the sign at the Episcopal Church across the street to the other side around Church of Christ. And then I also inquired about the Old River Bridge and the safety issue. If there is a safety issue over there, and Gary had looked at it and he determined that there's not a safety issue, but it is a YDOT transportation bridge, and it's not the City of Orland's responsibility. And that's all we have.
Community Service Commission, Councilmember Sean Wright.
We met on October 9th at 5, and we adjourned at 5:08, so if anyone has any questions on our short meeting.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I know you're the long one.
Okay, could I have a motion to ratify and approve the actions of the boards of the commissions of the City of Orland? So moved. Second? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. This is to the council members. We're gonna start with Bob tonight
Thank you.
and work that way and then come all the way over here and work this way because people don't like to work first. So it's up to you. Go.
For that trailer, do we gotta go for bids for that, because it's $6,000?
No, the new statute is anything over 30,000 has to be bid.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Kathy?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing.
Well, I'd like to commend the Chamber of Commerce for a rousing Oktoberfest and a wonderful Hunterfest. They've been busy and they're doing things for our community. Be proud of all the board members and our new director. I hope he's doing great.
Well, that's great. It's good to know that you went to work, and I guess you went over and volunteered to cook. Did anybody get sick? I was just curious.
It was fun. We partnered up with Mr. Callahan on that front.
Oh, no, we appreciate it. Dave?
I just want to express our appreciation to Chief Coker and the folks that helped him put the demonstration together for the residential sweeper system. I think they did a fine job. It was very effective. And appreciate their efforts.
Councilmember George Hazen. Councilmember Lisa Fernandez. Mr. Bud.
I want to thank GSPO and Bruce Hargrave for taking my equipment over and cooking hens over for Hunterfest. They done it last year for me, he's done it again this year. That's all I have.
Michelle.
Just for Lisa, I have an aquatic center update for you. The pool's gonna be opening in mid-November. We have the manager, assistant manager, and the head lifeguard hired. And we're currently looking to fill lifeguard positions, a custodial position, and a receptionist position. The membership applications are ready and are going out tomorrow. They'll be available at the chamber and at the old pool and at the school administration building. And I think there's gonna be one in the newspaper, I thought, and an ad. And there's also gonna be on the Facebook page. And lessons and classes will start in January. And just to make the price of memberships easier for people, we are gonna set up where you can make monthly payments on your membership instead of paying the entire amount all at once. And I'll try to remember to have an update for you next month.
I'm sure that'll be a free ad in the newspaper, of course, that's great.
You're welcome. Newspaper, usually.
Well, I know it'll be free on the radio.
Yeah, Darren.
So, yeah, no, I figured what's good was right. Okay. Any new business before the council this evening? No new business, this meeting is adjourned. We thank everybody for attending. It's kind of spooky being on camera, you know, when the camera whips around to you. You settle down.
Okay.
Just because we picked on you, now you want to start something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is